What's up, YouTubers? It's been a while since I've made a video. I know probably plus a week over. My wife had a death in the family last Sunday night, and there was another death in the family last night. As far as some uncles passing away, one here in the United States and one outside of the country. So it got me thinking about Torah and death. Um, as far as my background being a lot of non-denominational churches, I didn't know of anyone other teaching than when you die, you automatically go to heaven or you automatically go to the eternal torment of hell. So, as far as relearning Torah, I read a book, and I can't even think of it now. I picked up some books at a local bookstore, which I'm really excited to read. And one of them is Book of Jewish Customs, and another one is The Language of Judaism. We have a local bookstore that is closing down, and I'm trying to get as much as I can before it goes out. So I'm excited to read those, but maybe I was reading the comment online. But anyway, it basically gave the information that in Judaism, that more is life is emphasized more than death. Not as far as the destination is not important, it's the journey. It's what you've done on the journey to get to the destination that you're heading to. So it's funny that I made a video about Torah and apologetics the last time. After the first uncle had passed away, we had went to another relative's house, and an aunt had cooked, and we all fellowshipped and everything else, which it was funny because I was sitting down on the porch and somebody had walked through. There was a plate behind me. My shirt got some salad dressing on it. I took the shirt off and I had my white shirt with my zit on. I was walking back to my car and a lady grabbed my zit and said, "Hey, what is this?" Which it was funny because I used to go to church with her. And I told her they were zit. She asked me why I was wearing them. I was kind of going through just the basics. And then that was it. So I thought, well, that was kind of weird. And I went out to my vehicle, put my shirt in, walked back, and then my wife's cousin stated, "So are you Jewish or what?" Explaining, no, I was Messianic, and then that's what started it as far as with Yeshua in Matthew 5:17 through 19. I had not come to destroy but to fulfill, so he was lying, and we had probably, I'd say, a good 40-minute conversation, which he's a Oneness Pentecostal, which I was a Oneness Pentecostal at one point. Explained, in Oneness Pentecostalism, emotionalism is deadly. Emotion is good, but emotionalism is like a drug that if you don't hit that high again, you're at a place of, okay, I'm not touching God or God's not touching me. But it's really made me reflect on, of course, life. I'm 32 years old, and it brings me back to Ecclesiastes, where there's a time for everything. And regardless of how rich and powerful and famous and everything else you are, we all die. There's no getting out of it. So I've been studying the scriptures more on death, as far as Sheol, Hades, quote unquote, Tartarus, all these different things, and restudying and re-examining. Are we automatically with God, per First Thessalonians, or do we sleep until the resurrection, like Paul states? Like I said, I know it's there. I've just got to restudy to put the puzzle pieces in the correct order. So that's what I've been thinking on. Just kind of some other random things. My son told me earlier. He said, I told him that I would like that I studied by myself because I learned better that way. He said, well, wouldn't it be harder because you don't have anybody to bounce ideas off of? And I told him, he's too young. He's not going to understand what I'm studying, but he said that he still was showing interest and he wants to study with me, which he's 9 years old. So I'm thankful for that, because my spouse is not, she's not rejected the idea, but she's not accepted the idea. So she's not for me, but she's not against me. So she's basically said, okay, this is what you believe. I don't necessarily believe it, but that you can go down that path. So yeah, just some random things. I've been thinking as far as with the scripture in John, where Yeshua is speaking to Martha, and he speaks as far as that he is the resurrection. Now, I've read some of these verses multiple times, and trying to think about it each and every different way. I'd love your guys' comments to kind of put some of the pieces of the puzzle together. So, like I said, I'm just kind of rambling tonight. I'm still kind of taken back because of what's happened in the past 2 week-ish with my wife's family. This is her 3rd family member within less than 5 months. But once again, going back to Torah, I'm comforted because I know that regardless, as if I'm automatically there or there is a resurrection or however, I'm safe in God's laws. God's laws guide me, that I have a relationship with God. I know as far as because now that I've been walking Torah, I have more of a fear of God, that I know that this is what he expects and this is what he wants. So yeah, like I said, just kind of incoherent tonight, and I'm sorry. Wish you guys well. Have a great night.